Good evening. Just wanting to pop on and say hi, see what's going on tonight, and let me look, find myself, and there we go. So, what is going on tonight? Oh, really, Jeff Franklin. So, it seems to be you and I here. Does it seem? Ah, should have known he was lurking. Hello.
Me? Me lurking?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Cap.
Hey, I was telling somebody else was in there besides Jeff Franklin, and I thought, And all of a sudden I code and guess what's on?
Did you just go live?
Yeah.
Oh, that was damn. I literally just refreshed my screen to see if it was streaming, and I thought I missed you. I thought you've been on for like a while now or something.
Nope.
I went and got some food, went to the store, dodged people left and right. Quite a few people out driving right now. Surprising. I just got back and see who was online. Man, did I have a day, man. I'm tired. Boy. How you doing?
I've had better days.
Rough day?
Yeah.
Here you.
Well, I got some good news. That's the good part. So,
What's that?
well, my GoFundMe has gone up from like $100 to over 300.
That's awesome.
Yes, it
That's
is.
great. It's good news. Oh yeah, that's good. Crap, I look like hell. Oh,
Well,
yeah. Yeah. Hello. You got a little echo going on.
I don't know. Are you hearing one?
When I'm talking, is it me? Oh, I know what it is. 1 second. When I was doing my stream today. There we go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. So I was doing my stream today, and I had two computers to fix or to get working, and so I was showing that off, and I needed a microphone because I had the other webcam like in the computer showing people like the insides and whatever.
Oh,
And
yes.
so when I was in the computer, you couldn't hear me from the mic, and I had to go bouncing back and forth. So I was like, "Oh, screw it! Wait a second. These are supposed to have mics in them." So I figured out whatever. I added the mic to XSplit, and it was great. So I didn't have to keep going back and forth. But when they're both on, and I talk into the main mic, the little mic picks it up a little bit, creates an echo.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Troy. Actually, the topic is open tonight. You are more than welcome to hop on the stream and contribute to a topic or do it from the chat. Either way.
Hi, Troy. Hello, Jeff. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Open topic tonight. Wow. So I really wasn't expecting anybody to be streaming. I was just like, oh, yo, Captain Trek. Gotta check him out before I pass out. So I don't know how long I have in me right now.
I couldn't. I was trying to get in on Birdstream and play whatever
Risk.
and for whatever reason, I could not get into the game. I couldn't get the game to load on my computer first in order to get to the game.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I said, no, I'm out. I got something new for you to help me walk me through, Bird. So,
yeah, Risk is fun. I had a little Rocket League I was playing after I finished the 2 computers and played a little Rocket League, streamed that. Not many people watching though. I guess they were having dinner or something. It's fine. It's all good.
Well, hello, Nanette, and thank you. And hello, Lori Roberts. How are you this evening? Can you do the stream? So, what is Captain Trek's favorite brand of Trek? My favorite brand of Trek is Deep Space Nine. Overall, Deep Space Nine is my favorite Trek. Although, all-time favorite is still the original series.
Yeah, I love DS9. I had to put it in order.
Yes.
It would be DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, Next Generation, TOS.
See, I know a lot of people.
Call.
I know a lot of people who would say that Voyager would be their last.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't agree with the production issues they had and choosing not to make it. So Voyager should have been DS9 and Next Generation put together. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Next Generation as far as being a ship and the hierarchy and everything and how Star Trek works. But DS9 because you're stuck in the freaking Delta Quadrant with limited resources and no friends. And they shouldn't have made it where every episode like resets everything.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I mean, Voyager has so much potential. I mean,
I've seen some videos where they were counting all the photon torpedoes they fired throughout the series.
Yep.
And it's like,
yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was just one. You know what? Out of all the ones, that is freaking hilarious. Like, you think of photon torpedoes would have been on their list of things to watch out for. Especially when you lit a light, you hung a light on it right off the bat with the whole, we only have so many and we can't recreate them.
It's not like they took them from the Phoenix
or anywhere.
Well, remember they came across that one ship. Oh crap. Whatever.
You talking about the one at the season 6, Equinox?
The Equinox, yes. It's not like they took photon torpedoes from them.
No.
And it's not like
they were out of torpedoes by then, Cap. That was late.
I know.
They were gone.
And it's not like that.
They were. I don't know. When did it count? Did you remember when they said they officially ran out? Like what the count was? What episode it was? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it was like
okay.
They were long from getting home by then. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember if they met the Borg by then.
Yeah. I hear you. And they went what they did with it, and I would have done it differently, but you know, that's if you accept that, Voyager was pretty good. Had its deal, it had its, you know, I mean, especially the thing that pissed me off was when they did with like Tom Paris, and he was supposed to be Locato, the one in the Last Ensign with Wesley Crusher, when they
Yes.
attempted the Cobalt Starburst or whatever it was.
Yes.
So they couldn't get this sign. They couldn't get the whatever the person who created this character. They couldn't get a signature or didn't want to pay him or whatever. So they just changed his name, but gave him the same damn story. Because everybody was new. Oh, Tom Paris. That looks like Locato or whatever. And it's funny. The story sounded the same. Everything sounded, but the name was wrong. I mean, technically it was a different character, but it was the same character. It was supposed to be. Little BS crap like that.
And how do I feel about the way Enterprise ended? I hated it. That was a stupid story.
Join the club.
I'm sorry. I liked Enterprise. It had its issues as well.
All of them did. That's what I'm saying. Like every Star Trek had its issues. Remember? No, we're not actually in Star Trek yet, so we got people trying to make Star Trek in a non-Star Trek world. So everything had issues. DS9 had their issues.
Well, I would say of all the Star Trek, DS9 had the fewest issues that were, realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, yes, all of them had their issues. We do not have transporters. We're not going to have transporters. You sure as hell are not going to get me to go on a transporter pad. No.
I don't understand, Kronos, what you're asking. Troy, yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it's not only that, though. It goes all the way back to TOS.
What were the weapons they used in the first episode of Voyager called? They were quantum torpedoes.
Yeah? You talking about the Cobalt device?
Well,
that was only one or like two at the end. That was...
Yeah, they shot two. They only needed one.
Try Cobalt device, if I remember correctly. That's supposed to be beyond antimatter explosions, which the other species had too. It was one of the last weapons they shot at Voyager. What was it called? Blink of an eye, I think it was called.
Yes.
The one with the fast planet. That was pretty cool. I like that episode.
Come up, Ernest, and Troy, join on in.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on down. God, I should have gotten some coffee or something. I could still make some coffee, but time is it 9:20? It's 9:20 over here.
Yeah, it's 8:20 here.
Yeah, I'm jealous. The daylight saving times, man. I hate it when we go forward.
Oh, I know. Hey, JP's, what's going on?
I'd love to.
JP's, our resident fan of one of the worst Star Trek series ever in existence.
Hey, JP's, what's up? What's up? Live long and prosper. Yeah, that's it. Wrong show. Sorry, my bad. Oh, that was a favorite too, though. I did watch a lot of that when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
Robin Williams was best.
Now I didn't like it when I can see his face. The other comedian.
Not Robin Williams?
Yes, not his son on the show.
Oh crap. Yeah. Yeah, that brain cell's not awake right now. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about though. I could Google it, but I'm just being lazy.
So am I. And Troy's in the back room. Hello.
Troy. Hello,
Hey,
Troy.
how's everyone doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I wasn't expecting an invite.
Hey, it's like I said, open lines.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, all I was getting at, I did want to defend Enterprise a little bit. I mean, it had so much potential. I think that's what bothered me the most about it.
Yeah. Same here.
I mean, if they'd just gotten over they just dragged on the whole Xindi thing and the whole temporal Cold War thing for so long. And then the last season, they started getting into, grabbing at the little
Good stuff.
threads of leftover stories, the, what was it? The Tholian web. And then we got to see a full-bodied Tholian. They brought back the Gorn. Man, I started getting into it. By that point, though, people had lost interest and already left the show, and ratings were in the tank.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, season 4 should have been season 3, and that would have been beautiful.
I would have
Then
said
season
that
3
it should have been 2.
Yeah, no. Nah.
No, you're thinking maybe
season
first-
1 should have been what season 1 should have been. It should have been them before they got out.
Yeah.
The end of season 1 should have been season 2 should have been season 1. Okay, then season 4. But even season 4 was kind of like, okay, I see why they made it season 4, but I would not make it season 2 because I think it's too. There's not much time has passed. You know what I mean? They needed a little more experience. So I think it would have been a great season 3. Okay, season 1 should have been on Earth. Season 2 should have been season 1.
Yeah.
And then season 4 should be season 3. And then maybe if they played their cards right, the Xindi would have been a great season 4. Or better season 4.
If it had been better integrated. Yeah, I kind of get that. See, my concern about what you're saying, and of course we're looking back at this, hindsight's 2020, but if they had spent too long getting to the trekking part in the first season, we would have had Star Trek Picard. Where the first 3 episodes are just wandering around, talking, exposition.
Dora the Explorer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But again, hindsight's 2020. But we were getting so close. They were getting up to the Romulan War was looking like it was starting to build, and oh gosh, all the potential. That's what I'm ticked off about. Anyway, I'm over it now. No, I'm not.
It's just been years now. It's like we're stuck with it, but it grows on me. And that in the Mirror Darkly actually started growing on me. I didn't like it at first.
Wasn't that one of the last episodes? I mean, it was way too late by that point.
I didn't. It didn't rub off on me at all, though. I just didn't like it. I loved what they did with the excuse me, the Chikara. What was it called? Kara, the Vulcan. What was the stone?
I
You know what I'm talking about.
Remember. Yeah, I know what you
the
mean.
Vulcan episode, the Kishara. There we go.
Right.
I'm not even Googling this, guys. This is off the top of my head. Just my brain's so slow.
Not bad
I'm
at
gonna
all.
get some coffee, okay? I know
Go
my
for it.
Trek, damn it. But yeah, the Kishara, that was God, what a great episode. What else? The other one with the explaining the Klingons. Awesome. Affliction.
Right.
And that was a combo one too. And those little mini combos, that was perfect. You don't have to do the whole Xindi first to last, whole season plot, but you had like 2-3 episodes plot, 2 or 3 episodes for a plot. That was great. And then you had those little filler ones like the transporter man, and the other one with the fifth dimensional beings that with the silicon virus and whatever.
Yep.
Those were good. Season 4 was great.
They had a lot of good one-off storylines. But let me tell you, you hit on the thing with the Klingons. That's how that's
what we were expecting.
Building on lore.
Yeah.
You can change lore as long as you're building on what existed before it. You don't just blow it all away and retcon like. Sorry, I don't know where you guys stand on things like Discovery.
No, please.
But I mean, if after 30 years they had finally given us, the definitive. This is why there's we've seen two different styles of Klingons. You know, we finally had and it wasn't perfect, but it was really, really good, acceptable. We could move on from there. We finally had gotten there. And then we get Discovery. And we're like, what the actual frack? You know, we're right back to square one again.
Now, the only person I know who likes Discovery in this chat is JP's. Other than that, most of the people I know here are not of the persuasion of loving Disco.
Yeah. No. And I think the biggest part about it is, and it started with me going back to the reason that I was bummed about Enterprise. I figured, okay, fine. You ended Enterprise after 4 seasons. This is something else that takes place between Enterprise and the original series. So we'll get that birth of the Federation. We'll get that, Romulan War. We'll get that. No, none of that. Nothing that anyone cared about. We're going to get mushroom clouds and, technology that never existed and a half sister that never existed and that nobody cares about. That's what we get. Wonderful. Yay.
Yeah. And we kept watching.
Well,
if the people dropped off Enterprise as fast as they drop off the other way around, you know what I mean? If people would drop off CBS Trek as fast as they did Enterprise, I'd be cheering because you'd actually be doing a good thing. The fact that you left Enterprise was just, that was just traitorous. We should have kept watching. And the people who weren't getting counted weren't watching it on cable, and that really gets me angry because there were a lot of people watching Enterprise.
There were. Okay, JP's, you like the Klingorks, which I honestly,
the poop
honestly
Klingorks?
hated.
But that's how we call them.
And that's the reason I stopped watching after 15 minutes.
Klingorks.
Oh, you hadn't heard that before, Klingorks?
No, or maybe it just hit me in the face. Klingork. Oh, Klingorks. Discovery. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what else did you like about Discovery, or do you like about Discovery? Because that's the only thing I can honestly say I know you like about Discovery is the Klingorks.
Wait, JP's actually likes the Klingorks?
He seriously likes the Klingorks. Okay, everything else is shit. Okay. Well, at least...
What?
He says everything else but the Klingorks is shit on Discovery.
You're telling me you didn't like the mirror universe and DS... Discovery. God, I need that coffee. I thought that was great. That first episode with the crossover, thought was awesome. Holy snap. When they crossed over and they had to pretend they were them and that was great. Nobody else liked that. No. That was my favorite part of Discovery.
The only thing that I liked about Discovery was their actual use of the Klingon language. Mostly because I know the people from the Klingon Language Institute that did their coaching and recorded the phonetic, Klingon lines and stuff.
Yeah. To me, it was funny. It sounded like they gave Klingon language like a French accent.
They tried more than any other use of the Klingon language. They actually made an attempt to get it the way Dr. Okrand intended it to sound. They really did try. I give those actors incredible props for that. I can't even pronounce the language as well as some of them did. Maybe I got to get those funny teeth in my mouth.
Probably. That would probably help. Go get your coffee.
Maybe it was all done by accident. And the teeth was causing it.
Possibly.
Go get your coffee. We'll wait.
All right, yeah. All right. No, go ahead and talk. I'll be right back.
We talk amongst yourselves.
Exactly. So what Star Trek series did you like most, Troy?
Did I like the least, did you say?
Let's go with least.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I have to say Discovery, although followed closely by Picard.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I just didn't like Picard. I know that's not real popular these days, but I didn't care for it.
No, well, let's forget about those two.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So you mean prior to that?
prior to that,
Least favorite, I'm sorry, was Voyager.
yeah,
I just, it felt too much like uh, a weak imitation of Battlestar Galactica. You know, we're just trying to get back to Earth, you know, and yeah, it added virtually nothing to the lore of Star Trek. Nobody cared what was going on in the Delta Quadrant. There were a couple episodes, like there was the one episode, Barge of the Dead, that gave us, you know, more Klingon lore. That was pretty cool.
yes.
But those kinds of episodes were so few and far between.
Well, I also didn't like the fact that they started out, very. We have to watch our supplies. We have to watch what we do, and all of a sudden in later seasons, it's just like, oh well, we have the open holodeck policy. This holodeck's running 24/7, where before they were having to shut everything down and run on replicator rations because.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We have to be very careful about our energy consumption, but somehow we're going to prioritize the holodeck so we don't all go stir crazy. It's like, I don't mind that you have to have contrivances in a story, but you need to at least be internally consistent. You know, like you guys were talking about with the torpedoes earlier. If you're going to mention it, you need to stick to it, or at least explain away why now it's not a problem or whatever,
If they'd come up with some reason in the show, then it would have been fine. So somehow they found a way to reproduce them or had come across a stash of them, something.
Or picked up some from some aliens and adapted them or something, whatever. That's all they have to do. And it can just be a single line. That's really all it has to be. But see, unfortunately, what we're talking, and I've seen it going downhill from there. It's gotten worse with the subsequent series. This lack of effort on the part of the writers. I mean, it used to be that if you were going to write something, you had to write what you know, and if you don't know it, you need to study the hell out of it. And now it's I've never seen a Star Trek episode. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm making it my own. Then you should not be writing for someone else's property. Go start your own thing if you want to write your own thing.
Exactly.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
The
opinions of Troy Pacelli do not necessarily reflect those of Captain Trek and his show.
Trust me, if I disagreed with you, I would absolutely
dump me.
State it. Now, there are people that I disagree with, and I don't. Like I said, I don't care if I disagree with somebody. I will say it. I don't agree with JP's as far as the Klingorks, but I like him. He's a nice guy.
Sure. And Nanette, by the way, same last name. That's my wife. Just wanted to give her a shout out.
Yeah, because I've seen her on before.
Yeah. She's unlike so many people's wives that, she's in the other room doing her own thing. She's like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, what show is it? Oh, I'll subscribe to them too. Let me hop on the stream with you. She's my enabler, but we met at a Star Trek convention actually. So
cool.
I mean, yeah, but we have the similar interests. She's bringing up the whole thing. And I know that Nerdrotic likes to talk about this one a lot. The whole tardigrade lawsuit,
Oh yes.
I mean, I think it's so ironic because we were just talking about how CBS does not want to shell out any extra money to use any other characters, like the reason Paris existed, and the fact that we don't see anything about Lore or Lal, specifically because they don't want to pay those writers. And yet the writer who created Maddox now has to take CBS to court to get her due,
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you can't do your part to pay other people for their intellectual property, and yet you're stealing it from some gamer guy. You've based your whole thing on it, and because you're a big bad multi-million-dollar company, you can get away with it. That's just bull crap. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
Okay, just
We can't by law
my
prove it.
opinion. Yeah.
Yes, we can't by law prove that it was or was not done. It's just an opinion at this point until such time as a court of law would state either way.
All I can say is it smells like excrement to me, and I'm thinking it might just be excrement. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I would tend to agree. If it looks like it, smells like it, it probably is it. But again, it's not finalized, so therefore it is not official.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, that's my take on the whole kit and caboodle. Giving you my
Hey,
whole opinion
Rambling.
about all of them.
Sorry, I didn't see in the back room.
Who's with
What's
us?
going on? Rambling Canuck.
Captain Trek.
The Rambling Canuck. Whereabouts you from?
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Gotcha.
So frozen over hell. I mean,
How's the weather up there up north? You're saying it's cold.
freaking cold. And it shouldn't be. It's April, damn it. And all this shit has to be gone by May long so that I can go out and fish and not have to listen to people whine and complain.
Is that why you came on the show? Because we were all whining and complaining? You want to give us
No.
proverbial butt?
See, I've decided that I'm not going to argue over Star Trek, so I'm going to be quiet for the next little while.
He comes on the stream to be quiet. I love it.
Well, I get accused of arguing too much, and me and you would probably go back and forth for about an hour and a half, and I don't want to do that to Trek.
because you like the Klingorks? Is that why?
No, I just
no.
I have other like
He likes Picard.
Yeah.
He likes Picard.
I'll give you that it's better than Discovery.
I'll
give you that.
It is. Well, see, and Discovery, me and you will agree because I watched the first season and went F this. Yeah. But for me, the argument that is the weakest for me is the ripping off argument
Of the tardigrades thing?
of anything.
Okay.
Because the way I look at it is this: you go back just 5 years. And you go any genre, I don't care which it is. You go any movie, I don't care which it is. Any TV show, I don't care which it is. And you tell me a show where you can watch from the beginning episode to the end of the season and it not remind you of a single other thing.
Oh, I agree. There's no disagreement.
That's where I get annoyed because I'm like, okay, but it's not just Picard. It's not just Star Trek. It's every show. I mean, you go into the horror film genre. You want to talk about rip off. I don't think there's been an original horror film in 10, 15 years.
Well, no, and you won't get any disagreement from me. I mean, as far as that goes, there is nothing new under the sun. My problem is more the hypocrisy of, actually going ahead and doing that and using that as a justification and then turning around and suing, somebody doing a fan film because just did it too damn
CBS
good.
Was just honestly, CBS threw out a major opportunity for 1, self-promotion, 2, money, and 3, but in a way I understand why they did it to some degree. Because they have to consolidate their IP in the day of streaming service, in the day of anybody can make a video. Because I mean, let's face it. Even when I was growing up, and I'm only 35, when I was growing up, what you can do today, you could not do then.
Right.
That's
true.
Right. And in the day of streaming services and the day of people being able to make something and then throw it up. And go, well, okay, here we've made a whole season of a show, and it's exactly like Star Trek, right? They have to consult. They have to consolidate their IP. I understand protecting the IP,
but the best way to protect your IP, do it better.
Absolutely.
If you don't do it in the courtroom, you do it by saying, cease and desist. But hey, that's a great idea. And since it's our IP, we can do that ourselves. And then they could have turned around and made, that exact story and done it every bit as well or better. But they didn't. What they gave us paled by comparison. and that
True.
looks terrible.
They're
terrible
also
optics.
and Captain Trek. I'm sorry. I promise I'll only touch on this for 30 seconds, but I need to make my point.
Red alert.
I think what the problem is you look at entertainment, shall we say, in the broad stream, and a lot of like Star Wars, Star Trek, a lot of the major companies are starting to go almost WWE-esque.
How do you mean that? I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll explain it this way. WWE for the longest time have basically had their business model thus. The hardcore fans, your diehards, are always going to be there. Doesn't matter what the hell you do. Don't cater to them. Okay? The ones they're trying to grab are the channel the channel surfers.
Sure.
18 to 25. That's their demographic they're targeting. They don't give a damn about the fan that spends $1,000 on a replica belt. They're not the ones they're making the content for. They're making the content for the 18 to 25. They're also making the content for the channel surfer. That's why Brock Lesnar has the title as much as he does.
I don't disagree with you, but the problem with that is the proof is in the pudding. How has that worked out for them? They have lost so many of those long-term fans because they didn't cater to them. Showed that they didn't care about them, and they did not pick up the new fans that they were looking for.
No, they didn't. But you could argue that it's worked out just fine for them. Because if you look at the amount of money that they make just from the Fox deal alone that they have, the Saudi Arabia deal that they have, as controversial as that is, and just their TV alone, just the TV alone, they don't need to anymore.
Well, that's fine.
Ratings don't matter anymore. No, that's just the long and the short of it.
You say that, but I think that time is going to prove that it does, because they are still subject to the laws of supply and demand. And if there is no demand over time, I don't care how you quantify it, whether it's, Nielsen ratings or streaming or, or somehow there's dollars in the bank. Nobody's consuming it.
I'll also propose this. The actual diehard wrestling fan has been basically outcast for the last 20 years within the WWE world. They've basically been, you're either, if you complain about a storyline, you're a mark. If you complain about a storyline, you're a virgin who's been in a basement living out with his mother. That has been put out by the company for years now. And quite honestly, they've been proven right. Your diehards are still there. Your diehards are still making videos. Your diehards are still buying belts at $1,000. Your diehards are still buying every new shirt that comes out for their favorite wrestler of the time. They've been proven right, and that's been the problem.
But see, and this is where the analogy doesn't hold up, because those diehard Trek fans are not buying the merchandise that CBS is putting out anymore. They're making their own stuff, and CBS isn't seeing any of those dollars. Yeah,
and where I would say my analogy is that they're going on that model. I always make the joke. There was a wrestling book released in the 90s. And I think that Kurtzman and folks have gotten a copy of it and have taken what was said in it to heart. And it was written by Eric Bischoff, who, if you know anything about wrestling, you know who that is. And the title of the book, Controversy Creates Cash. Sound familiar?
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Captain Trek. Sorry, I hijacked it.
No. And actually, this is the exact topic I wanted to ask you about.
Uh-oh. All right. Yes. Shoot.
Now, forget about real, unreal, all that.
Yeah.
That's okay. When has there been an original storyline on WWE?
No, you'd have to go almost back to the Attitude Era, almost pre-Attitude Era for that. And that all depends. Are we talking original, not including NWA territory days?
We are talking not obvious ripoff of soap operas, where you could just fill in the character names. I'm talking a real storyline.
Yeah, you'd have to go almost back to the Attitude Era. Because I mean, yeah, you'd have to go back almost Attitude Era / pre-Attitude Era for that. Because I mean, anything that happens now is just recycled from then.
I was going to say, it seems like what is now was then.
AEW is WCW Light. TNA made that same mistake. They went and basically were WCW remade. Yeah, you'd have to go back pre-Attitude Era.
That's pretty bad. I mean, considering how long ago that's been, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, you'd have to go back pre-Attitude Era. I mean, when was the last good storyline? I mean, you could argue they still have a few, but when was the last good one? You'd still have to go back a few years. I mean, the build-up between Cena and Rock 1 was good. That was long game storytelling at its best. But I mean, you had John Cena and The Rock, so go figure.
And Kronos and Resolute Germ. And did I see? Yeah, Burner Prairie 5. Well, I just decided to get on. I was trying to play the game, couldn't figure it out. I'm going to need to ask you about that later, Bird.
Yeah, I can show you too, Captain Trick, because I've got the game, so I can show you later on, and we can do a test stream with Risk. I can't host because if I do, I can't talk and run the game on my current computer. I proved that last night on AT stream, but I can definitely show you. I can show you how it works.
Now, what we need to do is, as soon as my surgery is out of the way, we need to get you a new computer.
Oh, I plan on if my fingers are crossed and everything else. I think I'm not going to have top of the line, nothing like what LDG has, but definitely looking at by the end of the month, I'm going to buy myself my birthday gift, and I'm going to get myself a tower that I'm going to be able to handle a lot more.
Nice. Make sure to follow his advice. Do not stand the tower up.
No, I never used to do that.
I love you. I love you.
Oh, and LDG, I have to formally tell you this. But we were going to do it today on your stream, except my son's TV decided to go all wonky on him.
What's that?
So we're going to bring tomorrow, if you stream and you do the your game, I'll message you on Discord. Sure. My son is going to bring. I'll have your stream running on my phone. Yeah. He's going to commandeer my TV. He's going to go on his Xbox One, and my son is going to face you on Rocket League.
Sweet.
My son has accepted your challenge, and he will be there tomorrow. He'll be home tomorrow, I think, in the afternoon, because he's at his mom's tonight. And then, he'll join you on Rocket League.
Okay,
awesome.
Vile, why was your stream so laggy? And while we wait for his answer,
I believe it's because he was downloading Fallout 4.
Aha! I didn't see the next one on, so.
But I believe this is the first time I've had a chance to say hi to Troy. So hello, Troy.
Actually, I think it's the first time that I've been on Captain Trek's stream. He recently subscribed to me. I subscribed to him. I think Captain Trek, were you following Orville Nation? You're on.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what it was, and we just followed each other mutually. I saw he went live, and I'm like, oh, let me see what the show's about. And then he sends me a link. I'm like, really? You want me? Okay.
Well, you'll have to, and Captain Trek, please forgive me for plugging my channel, but
Go for it.
you'll have to add me to your list so that you can watch Captain Trek put me through watching Enterprise, because it's the one Star Trek I haven't watched, and he takes great pleasure when I don't like that show.
Uh-huh. I do.
I do feel like some of these shows that had so much potential, I feel like I should put out like a list. You know, if you want to watch Enterprise, skip this season, watch this episode of this season, watch it, and then just watch this season.
We're
and then
going
you're done.
season by season, episode by episode, and I'm in season 1 right now. And I still hate that theme song, and
it will not grow on you.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you won't ever like it. But I happen to be one of the ones that kind of digged it. But if you pay attention to the closing theme music, that was actually supposed to originally have been the opening theme.
Okay.
See, that I like.
Yeah.
I also like the Mirror Universe theme.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had a whole completely different theme for those 2 episodes.
Yes, they did.
That was actually kind of brilliant. Almost made you wish they would have done like a spin-off Mirror Universe series, you know?
Yes.
But I'll tell you, there was somebody took the last episode, that last episode was just a horrible travesty. I mean,
What last episode?
the last episode of Enterprise where they jump ahead.
They
And
didn't have a last episode. No, I'm not calling that a last. That was
Okay.
BS. That got canceled.
I totally dig what you're saying there, then. But some fan did a fan edit of that, took all of the holodeck, all of the Riker stuff out of it, and in so doing, they also changed the opening theme so that it was the closing theme, so it doesn't have the Rod Stewart song. And it's really a much better edit. I could almost accept it as a reasonable last episode.
Absolutely. And actually, if you wouldn't mind, when this video is over, you can comment on it and put that link in. So, or you can put it in the back room if you know it offhand.
I'll see if I can still find it, because when I find something like that, I usually grab it and write a DVD of it, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it again. A lot of these things, when you're out there sailing the high seas, they tend to go away after a while. You know what I mean?
Oh yes.
So let me see if I can find that for you.
And nice one, Vile Mike. Very nice one. Very smooth.
That's funny.
Very smooth, Vile Mike. Very
Wrong,
smooth.
I have no problem with shameless plugs via Mike. Speaking of which, let's see here. Let me go to my channel.
And thank you for subbing to the channel.
Well, Mike, now that you are going to have, there we go. Now you're a moderator, Vile Mike. Why don't you put in your link to your door?
You're cutting out, boss. What'd you say?
He's inviting Vile Mike to put in a link to his store for his smooth operating of sneaking in the shameless plug while giving me crap for giving a shameless plug.
Right.
I don't mind. He's a friend. I'll help him out.
Yeah, that's why I went smooth.
I won't even ask for a cut like
funny.
some people.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, this is going to be awesome if I can get this to work. Go here.
And Captain Trek, I really like your new avatar for Discord.
That was created by Trekkie Gal.
Oh, it is awesome.
She wanted it to be absolutely accurate.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And how are you doing, Kronos? Yeah, I didn't even ask her. She just said, "Oh, here."
Nice.
And I knew I could have asked her, but I wasn't about to. And speaking of shameless plugs, I feel horrible asking, but people have kept telling me I need to put this in my stream once in a while. Because fortunately, I can say this. I've had some very, very gracious people who have given money, and it's made it a lot closer than it was to start with. I'm now up to $355.
Congratulations, my friend. I hope it helps you get that surgery. And
Right
we're
now,
all
the
pulling
plan
for
is
you.
to wait until I can at least have enough money. I can try to get some insurance coverage, which would help lower the cost.
Either that, or we just marry you off to a Canadian woman and we bring you up through the marriage thing, right?
I would
That's
marry
gotta still work, right?
I would marry Alexander if I could.
I'm so not touching that one, Captain Trek. Just not. But I mean, it's gotta work, right? We'll bring you up
I didn't say I was willing to have sex with him. I just said
oh, geez.
I'm desperate for surgery. So yeah, I would. That would be one of those. That would be a definite sham marriage.
You think?
And if Kronos was Canadian, I'd marry him. I just, right now I'd be like, yeah, you want to marry me? Bring me up there, fine. Hey, give me a separate bed. I'll
just make sure when you do come up, it's like July, August, not January. January is a bad month. We just kind of shut down for January.
January, February.
No, January is the worst. Generally speaking, January is the worst. January is when you get the -50. With windshield, it's kind of the month you don't want to be here.
Well,
Late
thank
December,
you,
early January.
for lurking and then commenting. He's the other Canadian in the chat, right?
Yes. Except he's got better fishing near him than I do. I'm in the city. He's not.
How far away from you is he?
Oh, a little ways. Drivable, but a little ways. I'd have to relook at it, but yeah, he's a little bit, I think, north of me.
So basically, in other words, by the time this is all over, you all could go hang out, go fishing, catch some good fish then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
Greetings and felicitations, Mr. Blondell. Now, let's get into that theory. That reminds me that Trelane was a possible member of the Q, even though he was the son of... See, that didn't quite work for me, that theory. What about you?
I'm not 100% sure. What series are we talking about?
Original series.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't know. Okay. Carry on.
Okay, that means that next we're gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to train you on the original series.
The thing about the original series is there's always little kernels of lore that, the rest of the story could have been complete junk, but there's one little line or one little something that other lore is built on that makes, an episode important.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Mortimus Maximus says I'm 90 minutes east. He's right on the Ontario Manitoba border. So he gets all the Ontario people crossing over because they want to get drunk early. Well, basically, it's kind of silly. In Manitoba, the legal age is 18.
Right.
In Ontario, it's 19. So what you have is the people who live on the border of Ontario, Manitoba, on the Ontario side. When they're 18, they cross over to Manitoba and go to the bar.
Of course.
Because they're legal here, they're not at home.
Well, so here's the question then. What happens when they go home?
As long as they're not
caught?
Yeah, they're good. It's like when I was 18, I went to go see my cousin who lives in Ontario. And I had completely forgot about that, so I didn't buy enough smokes to last me. So I literally had to have them go out and get them for me because I couldn't, which really sucked.
That's how long were you there?
Oh, just a couple of weeks. I used to live there for a little while, but I moved back. That was long after I had moved back to Winnipeg.
At least I found out today that JP's only like the Klingorks in disco. I still want to know why. I really, really want to know why.
I don't understand the question.
Why does JP's like the Klingorks?
Oh. Well, I couldn't answer that. I mean, he's a fellow Winnipegger, but I couldn't answer that.
Possibly just for the lols.
JP says, or you start drinking at 16 at Teasers. Yeah. Or the Brook, which is another bar here in Winnipeg. That was my favorite. And JP says, because I do, which is pretty sound logic for an internet argument, I think.
I thought that was a Canadian argument.
No.
That's the
Canadian argument would be because I'm right.
and then most Canadians would say sorry.
No, that's greatly a myth.
No, and then
that's propaganda.
Then they tell you to fuck off, but
I mean, all you got to do is cut in a Tim Hortons line first thing in the morning. You find out how much of that was a myth.
Although it would be fun to have a drinking game watching why can't I think of his name? Truck Yards. Captain Foley. He'll often say he's sorry.
Captain Foley?
Yes.
Yes. Well, he's in Ontario. That's another province.
Well,
they have to be because Ontario has the capital city of Canada, which is Ottawa. So they have to kind of keep the myth up.
Ah, okay. So they're probably the originators of the myth.
Yeah. See, the rest of us, especially here in Winnipeg, we're like minus 40 for most of the year, so we get grumpy. See, the trade-off is their age limit to be able to smoke and drink is 19, but their smokes are cheaper there. So, but their gas is higher. So, it's a trade-off.
So if you live on the border, you go over the border to get cheaper gas.
Yeah, well, no, right at the border, it's pretty much the same. But the closer you get, like, it's really weird because when I go to Sault Ste. Marie, which is in southern Ontario, when I go there, it's funny because I'll leave Manitoba, and then once you get through Kenora, the gas prices go up. You get to Thunder Bay, it gets to about the highest. And then as you go back down south towards Sault Ste. Marie, the prices drop. And then once you get to Sault Ste. Marie, it's pretty much on par with Manitoba.
Having lived in the Kansas City, Missouri area all my life, I can say that there's a road called State Line Road, which runs right between Missouri and Kansas. And trust me, the Kansas gas prices were always higher. And there was a station, 2 stations right across the street from each other. And of course, the Missouri station always had more people at it because it had cheaper gas. It's like, why did you bother opening across the street? And it's not like their cigarettes are any less or their drinks are any less. It just,
yeah,
there was no point. Unless, the line was just so busy, which there were times it was, that you couldn't get in and somebody really needed gas, so they'd pull over to the Kansas station because at least they could get in. Now, let's see here. Let's go back to Trek. Okay. You haven't been on as long rambling. Why don't you pick the topic?
Oh, sure. Throw me under the bus.
Yes.
Well, Troy's been on here even less than I have, so it should be Troy.
Because I'm the new guy? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sure.
See how I passed the buck there? It's called passing the buck.
Well, I had already asked about his least favorite Trek, but you weren't here. So
Yeah.
Now let's
Why I
talk
like
about.
the top right. Top right doesn't get seen. I'm just like invisible.
Yeah.
You're just pixelated.
Well, at least I'm not calling you Pickles.
Yeah. No, I'm saying sometimes I feel like we're playing like that tic-tac-toe game. The one with the celebrities in the boxes, and we're all in the box right now. It's like, I'm top right. Yeah, I'm invisible.
Oh,
So you're
yes.
Whoopi.
Yeah, right.
Well,
That's how I see this program. I every time I
Whoopi
look at
was
this
always
program,
center square.
Yeah.
exactly. And you get 6 people, and it's like you got center top, center bottom. Like, I want to squish.
You realize
Oh,
that
it
means we're
cracks
all
me up.
old because we know what you're talking about.
Yes, we all know what Hollywood Squares is.
I'm telling you, man. It's just so funny.
And I could be Paul in.
Now let's put it this
Yeah.
way: not old. We are life experience. Thank you very much.
Oh, is that the politically correct way of saying old now?
Damn
Okay.
right.
All right. I'm with you.
That's okay.
You know what's funny?
I still laugh that I corrupted my son because at high school, I get a call from school because he answered a question incorrectly at school and kind of made a scene about it because they got talking on the topic of what, being accepting of when people identify as things. So my son decided that he was going to stand up and say, well, I identify as an attack helicopter, so respect my choice.
And I'm guessing they did not.
They did not like that idea, no. Because he went full bore, like he went all in. Like,
good. Oh, that's awesome.
It was just funny
Wow.
to me. But yeah. It's absolutely hilarious to me.
That's crazy.
I think you got a new Xbox game out of that one.
See, and I could see myself doing that kind of thing if we had that kind of a climate when I was growing up, and my mom would have shown up to school and said, "So, why don't you practice what you preach? You said you got to respect people's. If that's how he identifies, we need to support that." And then that leaves them going,
Yeah. No, that was the best one. I identify as an attack helicopter, and he went all serious, apparently, like dead serious, and it was just great.
And it's not just saying it; you got to deliver it. And if he delivered it, that's just wow.
Yeah.
You're doing something right there, my friend.
Oh, yes. Let me ask this: how was his mother on that?
Oh, she's like me. She thought it was absolutely freaking hilarious.
Good.
But you gotta understand, like my dad, who as Captain Trek knows, I'm thinking a lot of right now because it's coming up on the anniversary of his passing. But my dad, who raised me, his birth year is 1928. So you can imagine my upbringing on the whole subject.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow. It is, and I am personally, as long as we're on this topic, I'm all for whatever your choices are in life. None of my business, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But by the same token, then don't be a hypocrite. You
Yeah.
need to have the same respect for me. If you don't,
exactly.
then all bets are off. Go to Cthulhu.
I'm kind of on the theory I don't care, right? I just don't. As long as it doesn't involve me, I don't care.
Right. Exactly.
And do whatever you want. Be you. You be you.
Right.
I'll be me. And let's just leave it at that, right? Yeah. And I look at that in every aspect. I mean, from religion to everything. I have my religious beliefs. Am I a diehard? No, but I have my own interpretation, and I follow that. Right. But I'm not going to sit there and dictate my dogma onto someone else.
Exactly. And we could actually say the same thing about Star Trek. We disagree on something about Star Trek. That's fine. I personally enjoy when I disagree with somebody, as long as that person is equally as willing to listen to my point of view as I am to listen to theirs. If it's, my way or the highway, well, then, okay, then this isn't any fun anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. Yes, I'll make fun of JP's because he likes the Klingons. Okay. Yeah. But I respect him.
Yeah.
And whether I like him or not, he has every right to like him. More power to him.
Yeah, and for me, like what annoys me the most, and will get my well, as they say, trigger me, is more I don't care. Like if I like Picard, you don't like Picard. I don't care. We can go back and forth on the show all day long. But where the argument I call an automatic you lose is if you have to attack me personally.
Yep.
Right.
As soon as you go for ad hominem, it's done.
Right. The minute you have to go, well, you're not a true fan because you like this, or you're not. Okay, you automatically lost to me. Right. Everything you just said no longer holds any water to me. You just lost.
Yeah.
If you have to go personal, then it's a problem.
That's so wrong.
And it's sometimes just a matter of understanding what the difference is between objectivity and subjectivity. If you can make an objective argument, then you might be able to make me agree with you. If you're saying subjectively, you know what,
I know everything you said about Voyager, for example. I get what you're saying. I just didn't like it. Well, there's no argument there. You didn't like it. I did. Amen. You know, but when you start talking things like, the quality of writing, when you talk about, honoring the lore that went before it, and you're making really objective comments and you're like, well, I liked it. Okay. But that does not speak to anything that I just said. You're entitled to like whatever you like, but I'm pointing out some actual flaws with this thing, that stands on its own. But I don't know. I think I'm in the minority on that these days. There used to be, this idea that there was something that quantifiably was good about writing. And I think that only exists in textbook these days. It doesn't exist in practice anymore.
And the other thing you have to take into consideration, even in writing, like good writing, bad writing, it depends on how it lands for the reader or the person, right? So it will land one way for me, it'll land another way for you. And a lot of that is our life experiences, and my life experiences are going to be different than Captain Trek's, are going to be different than yours, and they're going to be different than LDG. So for me, what's good writing is going to be absolutely different from the next person sitting beside me, because how we perceive it and how it lands for us.
True, but if you are trying to do something that's commercially viable, you want to appeal to as wide an audience as you can.
The lowest common denominator.
Yeah, so that's why you hear so much talk among writers when they talk about, archetypes, things that talk to humanity on a regardless of things like where you grew up and what your age is and what your gender is and what your background is. There are things that speak to you just because you happen to be human. That's, translatable to everybody.
The lowest common denominator.
Yeah. Not to put a value on it though, because I mean, it just is,
No.
Yeah.
So
this is one thing. I'm glad we're able to actually have an open conversation. This is
right. Refreshing.
Absolutely.
You don't see it much these days. You really don't.
And that was part of my whole reason for starting this channel, is to have an open discussion on things. Not necessarily Star Trek, although that is the one big element that we have in common.
Well, if you're going to call your channel Captain Trek, you got to expect.
Well, yeah. I mean, like with Rambling, he is able to draw not only on Star Trek, but on wrestling, because those are both big parts of his life.
And Star Wars.
And Star Wars.
That's me and my son's thing. So, and also wrestling when he was younger, but he's kind of got his dad's theory on it.
Okay, I'm going to have to hear his theory sometime.
On which?
But whatever.
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
Well, if you get him onto, if you get my son talking, as LDG knows, if you get my son talking on Dragon Ball Z, you'll be there for a couple hours.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Some good Dragon Ball.
Because he'll go back and forth on you, and he'll correct you if you say the wrong saying. He'll correct you. He has no problem doing that. It was funny because I think
nothing like his dad.
Was it on your stream, LDG, where he came on, or was it Captain Trek?
No, that wasn't my stream. No, I think you were on Captain Trek.
Yeah, and my son was wearing. On. Yeah, he was. He was wearing a Goku shirt, and somebody said that it was rosé. What was the form? Was what it was, and he was like, No, it's Goku. It's Saiyan Black.
Goku Black.
Yeah,
no, Goku Rose.
Yeah. It was he was being told it was Goku Rose. He goes, no, it's Goku Black. The form is Rose, and
Yes.
it was it's just freaking hilarious. But yeah, he'll go all day long with that.
When you know your stuff, you know your stuff.
Absolutely.
There is a right and wrong when it comes to that.
Let's see here now. Okay, I like this comment of JP's. I got to go back to the StreamYard so I can actually
Let me see if I can change this up.
highlight it.
Okay. There we go.
Actually, I think you ought to attempt to convert him on Klingorks.
Oh, on Klingorks. Oh.
Why Klingorks are bad.
Uh,
Other than that, he's a cool guy. So hey,
Well, and again, I mean, I may or may not disagree with him if he's got a good enough reason why. If it's just, I just like him.
there are people that will spend $4 on a Starbucks coffee when they can get it at Tim's for $2. But I mean, there's just no telling them different. I mean,
Yeah, but even then, they may have some sort of a reason why. You know, it's just part of my daily ritual, or it's convenient for me, or I
there's one
really
right
like
across
that
the street
green
from the other
logo.
Starbucks.
Something like that.
well, and I'll put it this way, because there was one place, it was right across the street from Starbucks where I went before, and quite honestly, yeah, their coffee was less than half the price.
Mm-hmm.
It also tasted like shit.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's that.
There's something to be said for, paying for quality.
And it's like, I don't care. I would rather pay twice the price and have something that tastes good, that doesn't taste like it's been sitting on the burner all night.
Yeah.
It's like, this stuff tastes like shit. Like they just kept the old stuff, warmed it up, and here's some new stuff.
The funny thing about Tim's is, and you can actually do this. You can walk into a Tim Hortons and you can order a large coffee. And before you order the large coffee, you say, I want it from a fresh pot. They have to literally make a fresh pot of coffee right in front of you. It's part of their mission statement.
Well, nice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You can actually demand a fresh pot, and they have to make you a fresh pot. And they have to put on, like, when they make that pot, they write on the pot what time it was made.
Yeah, of course.
If it's any more than 30 minutes, they have to dump it.
Well, yeah. Why not? It's coffee. It should be fresh. You're gonna pay for coffee at the. What are you talking about? Like at a gas station? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
Oh, okay. Every time I go, I always ask which one's the freshest, because you can't have. I'm not gonna pay for freaking old coffee. Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Really? I'm the only one who doesn't like only likes fresh coffee.
I like fresh coffee. Absolutely love fresh coffee.
I mean, who keeps their coffee for the next day? Anyone?
For iced coffee.
They keep their donuts for the next day, though, right? And they keep other things like that for the next day. That's fine. But anyone, do they keep coffee to the next day, or do they
not intentionally
drink it or put
not
it out?
Intentionally, yeah.
No.
It's one of those things. Coffee has a attribute to it. You want it fresh. You don't want it 6 hours old. And okay, half an hour, maybe not. Okay, that's okay. Especially if they paid the extra money for the proper storage, and they just don't have it in the thermos or whatever. They spend money for that. Okay, I get it, and it's not that much bad. But like 6 hours, you go and the coffee made is from this morning. I don't want to pay for that. What the heck?
There was one time I went to a Subway and I got coffee. I tasted it. I'm going, when was this coffee made? Oh, we made it fresh this morning. It's 3 p.m. it's time to throw it out and put on some fresh. Well, we can't do that, sir. Really? You can give me a refund. I'll go over to McDonald's.
Yep. And I'm also a big stickler on words have meaning. What do you mean you can't? That means you are physically unable to do it. You totally can do this. So you've already lied to me, or you're a fool. You don't know what the words mean.
Well, either that or their boss has told them you are not allowed to do this.
Yes, but you're holding people to their logic. I love doing that. But
Yeah.
like little things like that, you know what they mean. Like I deal that BS when I'm dealing with banks. You know what I mean? Like important stuff. I'm not gonna bother the 7-Eleven person about that kind of logic. I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're dealing with like bank transactions or customer service issues as far as like returning, defective hardware, I got this green screen I bought. It was a joke. They advertised it just like the package, everything was there, and I got the green screen. It's missing the damn frame, and you can tell the package that was in it. They took the frame out because the package has the picture with the frame in it, like as if it came with the frame.
Yep.
They literally took it out and sold it for less because the first person, like, I'm sorry, me, that's our $200 green screen with all the advertising and everything, telling me it comes with the frame. Excuse me, and I'm having problems with returns and these companies. Don't ever trust a company that won't pick up the phone. Or they don't have a phone number.
Okay, Captain
won't
Trek,
deal with
I'm
what
gonna
people-
step down for a while. I might be back later on, but I gotta step down for a bit. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Oh, certainly. You take care of yourself, please.
Take it easy.
Nice meeting you. Take care. Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I want you to admit it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it feels good. I don't get me wrong, but like I said, I just wouldn't waste a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like with the bank and stuff, yeah, you hold them to their logic.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. It's not worth the time and effort because you're absolutely right. You can go across the street and go, you know what? That's fine. No, you're right.
You're
you
good.
do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go spend my money elsewhere. And
Yes,
that,
Yeah. You knew they know that they know that they're saying it that way for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not even like a game.
Yep.
When you're dealing with customer service in a bank and they try something, don't BS me. I know you can.
Well,
Okay?
that's fine.
So-
Then let me talk to the person that can.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And then you hold them. You said you record your conversations, right? I want you to report this conversation to your boss. That let them listen to this conversation, and you turn having them record it back on them.
Yep.
That's helped me out at least once.
Oh, at least.
But customer services. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on, please.
I was saying customer service went out the window, man. It's not the 90s anymore, man. The new age, your year 2000, man. It's the death of customer service.
It can be really hard just being in customer service sometimes. And I'm not going to say where I work or what I do, because, that wouldn't be a good thing to do. But, but what it really comes down to is I wouldn't do it if I didn't have a passion for it. I can be a hard customer because I have that expectation of myself in the service that I provide.
Right.
And I cannot stand when I'm dealing with a customer, a client, and they want this, that, and the other. I'm like, you know what? I will take care of that for you. I go back to talk to my own people and they're like, oh no, that's against policy. Don't tell me that's against policy.
Oh,
This
God.
is-
Go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead. You nailed that policy word as a trigger word with me.
It's like, I work in an industry where there are such things as legal compliance. If we can't do it because of a legal reason, that's one thing. But if it's your department saying we don't want to do that because this, that, no. Remember, I have to go back and talk to the client. Think about it from the client's point of view. If you're not willing to do it, I will go to another company that will. We lose business, you lose your job. Okay. That's just how this works. And I have no problem going to, the head of the company
to make my argument. And I've gotten that kind of a reputation, and I've got some mixed feelings about that. Some think that's really good.
Yeah.
Some find me annoying, but I don't care. It's just the way it is.
I mean, you're so right, and I love it when they say policy. The only people who say policy because it's a policy because they can't actually explain anything. It's their last resort is to say it's against policy. And then if you ask them, well, why do you have your policy? They can't answer that. So
Exactly.
you gotta have a reason to have policy. You just can't magically bullshit device policy. Okay, you gotta have a reason
DJ.
for policy.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
They can't. I mean, I went to oh god, I wish it wasn't so late. I wish you caught me in the morning with my brains firing, dude. I have so much on this subject to talk about, dude. About people saying it's so-called policy, and it's game over when they say that. I mean,
and we could tie it back to the Trek conversation we were having before, and what's objective and what's subjective. If you can tell me, and this has happened where the other department says to me, well, the reason this policy exists, and then they explain it to me, and I go, oh, okay, because if we did it this way, that would cause other problems. Okay, I see. I can work with the customer on this. But if it's just what it usually comes down to is, well, that's just too much work for us. Well, yeah, then you need to fix that policy.
Or I've had it where they explain the policy and it's absolute BS. I mean, it's literally lying out the butt. We were talking about a credit card the other day. One of my clients accidentally put in information on a website they shouldn't have done. And so we're calls me up. All right, let's do this, change this, do this, call your bank, do this. And so we called your bank and they were like, we want to cancel the card, get a new card. I was like, please let them know that you gave them more than your credit card information. Like you gave them security check questions, answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, we're fine. This is the bank lady. We're fine. We have policies. I mean, what's your policy on this? He goes, oh, we have what was it? Email verification or cell phone checking. I was like, really? I was like, well, you just let her talk about your account settings, and she didn't get a whatchamacallit. I was like, do you have her email on file? She goes, yeah. He goes, what's her email? And it wasn't even the right email. They had all the wrong information. And then they start talking about or voice recognition, and I'm like, oh, they were so bullshit. They don't do that.
That is not a conversation anyone ever wants to have with me, because I'll start talking about FCRA and regulations and the law, and I will bury them.
It was unreal. I'm telling you, I was calling her bullshit out in front of her. I'm like, no, you're bullshitting me right now.
Yep.
Proving it. Calling it policy.
Oh gosh.
Oh god, dude. Policy is a cop out. When they can't answer you, they can't help you. If they can't do customer service, because customer service today isn't actually people trying to help you. It's people whose job is to read a screen. They're called textbooks.
Yep.
Okay, textbooks is customer service. And if whatever your problem doesn't fit the textbook in front of them, whether it be a screen or an actual book, they can't answer. They say, "No, I'm sorry, it's against policy. I can't do that," because that's their safe. That's their crying wolf. It always works.
And the problem is that's somebody who isn't willing to take the time to think. They don't understand their job. They may as well just be a robot.
Yeah, some have a smaller tolerance. Now, certain companies actually do have somewhat good customer service, and sometimes you get lucky and you call them up. Either two things: either going to get somebody who doesn't give a s about you and they should be fired, and they treat you quick and in and out, and if it's not within 1, 2, 3, sorry, the answer I don't know, can't help you. Have a nice day. Yeah. Or then sometimes you'll get a guy who actually knows how to use a system in front of his face, plus experience in his own head to help you out. Now that's very rare, but I've seen it, so I'm not giving up complete faith. But most of it's gone. A lot of places have horrible customer service, and I tell people you should treat your customer. They're not customers; they're family. You treat people like family, all right, and you do better business. That's what I do.
Yep.
And it's just bullshit seeing these companies do this while I'm struggling. Working, over 25 years, treating my clients like family. And it's been a fun ride, and it's still going, and I got plans, but it's slow. Yeah, if I would have cheat, lied, and stealed, I would have been a millionaire right now. With the computer knowledge that I know. But I don't. I play my part, but it's rough and things need to change. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yep. I get that.
Sorry,
that's why I feel so strongly about it too. That's why I'm in the industry that I'm in, because I actually care about it.
Exactly.
And it helps me because this is what I do for my clients. So you own a business and you deal with, GoDaddy or Microsoft or all those companies that do your email. They're your servers. You know what I mean? They're your email service with Microsoft 365. Any problems? If you have 50 employees, you have to deal with all that and backups and blah 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 blah. This is what I do. I step in the line. I say, okay, listen, you dealing with me. You're not dealing with the CEO. You're dealing with me. I know what you need to do. I know what we can do. I take charge. And because if you let your service providers, whether it be we're even talking about your phone company, your internet company, those people you have to deal with. You have to deal with them a certain way now. Before it was customer service, all you had to do was cry, the sky was falling, and they'll do whatever they can to do. It's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you don't have an appointment, you can't call, but you got to call to have an appointment. And when you finally get a hold of somebody, they care less. But if you have somebody like what I do, I step in there, I say, listen, okay, take the reins, let's do this, blah blah blah, cut the bullshit, and get progress done. And it's one of the things I've had to deal with. It actually helps me. It's something I can give my clients that's value, because they don't want to deal with GoDaddy and your server goes down. I don't know what's going on. Then you call a GoDaddy and you're talking to somebody who's speaking in a different language to have somebody to mediate that and get things done. So I kind of made a little business out of it. You can guess, being that middle person and dealing with those people like that.
I hear you.
Absolutely.
I remember when you used to be able to go to Home Depot and I didn't know crap. I am not Mr. Fix-It. I'll tell you that right now. And I remember back when you used to go to Home Depot, like, I'm trying to do this. And the guy would this is what you need. This is what you got. Watch out for this. But like, the guy knew everything. And you go there now, it's like, hey, I need it. What? What do you need? What? So they don't even know anything over there anymore.
And don't even seem to have the willingness to find out.
Some of them, again, it's not all 100%.
No,
but it's over 50, and I would say it's even closer to like 70%. It's like really a diamond in the rough, a rarity that you find somebody that works at a job that actually loves what they're doing, but they still work there and take the pay cut, because that's the reason why Home Depot don't have any actually people that do home improvement anymore, because of the pay cuts they took, and they all left. So now you got $6 an hour Joe. At Home Depot there selling you the wrong size nails or too much fun. Same thing for computer stores. Remember, you used to go to a computer store and nerds were selling you computers,
right?
And then they turned computers into Sears, and now just Joe Schmo's selling. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, right there. Yeah, sure thing.
Oh yeah, because I always trust every Walmart employee to know what a good computer is.
The death of Radio Shack was it for me. When Radio Shack turned into Sears, I quit. That was the turning point for me when we lost Radio Shack.
Radio Shack, I used to like because I could go and get exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I could walk down the aisle. I can get the transistor or whatever it was, or go in with a transistor and say, I need this.
Yeah.
Well, I even had Radio Shack experience where somebody actually told me, no, this is what you need. Now I can sell it to you, or you can go to Walmart and get it for half the price.
Yeah.
That is why I went there.
Yeah.
Because there were businesses like that who would say, okay, look, here, you can get this here for this price. You can get it over here for this price. Where do you think I'm going to go the next time I want stuff? It's certainly going to be the place I can get the cheapest price at. Necessarily. It's going to be where I can get the right information. And if the best price is there, good. If not, I'd rather pay a little bit extra for the experience.
You know, and I think that's part of the bullshit too, because I mean I get what you're saying and you're right, and it sucks. That's the way it was, but this is what happens when people say one thing and do another. Capitalism is not capitalism right now. It's some perverted style of capitalism, but in real capitalism, right?
Yes.
Everyone capitalizes. There is no one party. Capitalism is not a one-way street. It doesn't work that way. Okay, shouldn't work that way. That's the way it is right now. But it's perverted, and I don't know why he's still alive. I guess whatever. You should not have been able to say where do you go for a cheaper price. If the system was proper or better, you give them the lowest price.
Yes.
Right then and there. Like I said, well, it's $9.99 over there. Well, guess what? We're gonna give it to you for $9.99 here. End of story. Sale out the door.
And that's what they should be doing.
And you should be able to do that and still not lose money, still make money. But no. And then you get yelled at by your boss. You don't be telling people to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. No, you're supposed to lower your price.
Yeah.
If everyone's selling the same exact, that should be illegal, right? You shouldn't be able to sell the same exact thing for two different prices. I mean, okay, I know what you're thinking right there. I heard you. Take the special, exception to the rules, put them aside. I am talking about the general average things that you get every day.
Right.
Okay. The things that can fall in the category of what I'm speaking about. Okay. If you take that, you're going to find out there is a crap load of things that fall into this category. And, it's $1.99 over here. And then it's like $5.99 over here. It's BS.
Well, but the solution to that is simple. You can sell it for $5.99 if you want, because the guy that's selling it for $1.99 is going to get all the sales, and I'm going to tell him about it.
But it creates it creates unnecessary competition. Competition is supposed to be progressive, not degressive. If you're buying everything, okay, one person makes ABC something or other, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is ABC something or other. Okay, only that company makes this, right? And they're the ones selling it. So as far as profit's concerned, it goes to the first seller. Okay, the first seller has value. That's the important sale. Okay, okay, from the manufacturer to the people that distribute it. And it should be that much. And then the people who buy that, whether it be 5 different store names or whatever it is, that should all be equal profits after that tree level. So that way, wherever you go, you're getting to get that item for what that person who made it, fair price, plus a little profit for whatever, and there's no price gouging at all.
So manufacturer sells to distributor. Distributor sells it to end store, to retail. Okay.
Right.
They're going to sell it for whatever the retail price is to all of them. That price may be adjusted based on quantity. You buy more, I give you a bit of a discount, but there should be a fairness to that. Those individual stores, they're free to sell it for whatever they want. They can take it at a loss. They can jack up the price 3 times. But as the consumer, I can look and go, yeah, I like that store, but they're selling it way too much. I'm going to go buy it at Kmart for cheaper.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's totally wrong.
That's capitalism.
I'm not quite. No, it isn't. No, that's one-sided capitalism. Because if you don't shop there,
no, it's two-sided. You have your choice to sell it for what you want, and I have the decision-making ability to say I will buy it for that price or no, I won't.
But that's too dry. You're not putting the timeline into effect. If everyone stops buying from you, what are you gonna do? Answer that one.
You either lower your price or you.
There we go.
Or
so you're gonna get there anyway. And once you lower your price, you're going to sell. Now, if you would have done that in the first place, instead of wasting time, you wouldn't have wasted money of people when people not buying stuff.
I see what you're saying. I misunderstood what you were saying.
See what I'm saying? That
No,
doesn't
I
make
did-
sense in
I
any
do not.
kind. Even if you're trying to make money, that doesn't make sense.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, gotcha. Now that you put it that way, I understand what you're saying, and that's an excellent point. Yes, you're absolutely right. And you
People don't
have
do
to,
that.
but it's not, and it's but that applies to not just that. Going back to what we were saying before, it also applies to, because you asked the question, what do you do if you're not selling? You start looking at your price. That's one thing. You also have to look at your service. Am I providing the best service? Because people will pay more if they're getting good service. Service covers over a multitude of sins.
Yeah, especially like warranty and stuff, and that's great. But that's tier 2. Tier
There's
1
also
is
overhead and things like that. Do I
Yes.
really need to be doing this, that, and the other,
yes.
and so forth?
If someone can afford to sell the same thing for less, okay, you have the base price, right? And then you get all this, inflation on top of it. But there's a base price. That's one thing everybody can agree on. When someone makes something and sells it to distributors, it's a single price from that sale point. Okay. After that, it's what we do that makes that price go up and down. Okay. So if what we do equals somebody selling that at the lowest possible price, then everybody else has two options. Either can you actually match that price? Okay. If you can, do it. If you can't, then you shouldn't be selling that product.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. And your financial officer should be slapping you in the face saying, stop buying this item. We cannot sell this item with our overhead as well as these people are. Okay?
Yeah, I would even say you have to ask yourself, if you can't sell it for that price, why can't you sell it for that price? What are they doing that we're not, or
that
vice versa?
That would go to the other department, though. The
True.
Department of
Sure.
Foresight and Fix Ourselves Up department. Yeah. Okay, you're right on that. You're right about that. But then also they can get together and create a pre-sale pool. Get creative with the idea. So if everybody buys ABC something or others, say, okay, we're a group of 20 stores. Okay. We're gonna buy 100,000 of these, but we're gonna buy them at that base price. Okay. And then whoever sells, they all sell from the same pool. You know what I mean? That way you can keep the price the same. And if one person doesn't sell, the other people sell, they don't lose their money. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Something like that. It's just a creative idea. I'm sure you can get all, advanced with it or whatever. But I mean, this is the crap it's BS. But the power's in the people, because capitalism goes both ways. When you're selling something, if you're selling something like a collector's item, okay, something material that doesn't have it's not unlimited resource or anything like that.
Yeah.
Supply and demand is a lot more absolute. Okay.
Sure.
But when you're selling an unlimited resource, and you got to understand what I mean by unlimited resource, like food is considered an unlimited resource, water. Sure. Okay. Yeah. You have how much you can actually package up and hand at one time. The base resource is an unlimited resource.
Sure.
Okay. Supply and demand now becomes completely foggy, and because there's unlimited supply. Right. How do you supply and demand that? Well, you do that by saying we can only package so much water. So that's the supply. Okay. Sure. What was I going to say? When you're selling something that, like, for instance, grocery stores, you always have to go to a grocery store. You have to go like every couple of weeks. You're dependent on them. Okay. You become part of the equation, because now they're only in business because you're coming every week. That makes you a partner. You know what I'm saying? If you stop going to your grocery for a month and see what happens to that grocery store. You think people are having a hard time right now with their business and everything and home and everything? Don't go to the grocery store for a month and see what happens.
And that's what the businesses need to realize too. They need to look at their customers that way and value them. When they don't have to,
no one's standing up, and the people who are standing up are not enough. No one's rallying. We need another, pardon, it's Easter. We need another Jesus. Everybody can stand behind, like everyone. And I'm not just talking about a state. I mean, I'm talking global possibly, start the US, wherever, but eventually we need to get a whole movement on this, because these rich people, look what they're doing right now. Okay, some are giving some money and this and that, and there's some good stuff, but do you really see an oh my God Independence Day moment of all the rich people saying, holy crap, let's do something now, people are dying, people are hurting, blah 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 blah? Any of that?
And no, we're not, unfortunately. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. And what we can do, though, is we can support the businesses that are doing that. That right there will help with getting a message across. If this business,
Everybody does theirs, exactly.
If we make it vocal, if we not only support this business because they're doing it, but we are vocal about why we're doing it, there is a chance that we can get across to more people. Hey, we need to step up and do this. And that is the way we do it, is we provide to the businesses, this is what we want. This is what we want you to do, and this is why we're going to support you if you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing a lot of this about the so-called non-essential businesses. I mean, there's a lot of talk right now about local comic book stores going out of business. They're not going to be around when you come back and, don't have to worry about CV and this and that.
Exactly. And
that's because of the copyrights and everything that they're doing is horrible. I feel bad for
the
them.
whole distribution, back to what we were talking about before, where you're the company that puts it out and then the distributor, there's only one distributor. That's been a bad business model for a very, very long time. That's a whole separate issue. But when it's bad and then something like this happens, they can't skate by anymore. The pavement, what do they call it? The wheels hit the pavement or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that saying is.
I always saw comic book stores as the cool library that you want to go to, especially if you're, young adult or kids. And that's what sucks about this, because everybody's stuck at home right now. It hits them at both aisles. You can't go to your local comic store and spend 2 hours there, maybe get a couple cards of Magic and sit down and play and just spend hours away while your mother doesn't have to pay for a babysitter because she's safe you're safe at the comic shop.
Right.
Exactly.
Playing with other kids and stuff. So it hit them on both angles. It hit them on the whole, you can't have people in groups, and it hit them with the whole, the people above you that actually keep you going are absolute freaking morons, and they're going to leave you high and dry, because that's what everybody is doing right now.
Yep.
And I have been told that DJ Odyssey is holding a game stream. So if anyone wants to join that, please feel free to go over to his site. I don't want to keep people away from going over there. I love having people on my stream, but I know that people like to play the games. I don't host them, but I like to play them as well. So if anybody wants to go over there, please feel free to. And let's ask Kronos, if you're still here, could you drop a link? I'll ask him. This is one thing I like about being on different forms of media. I can go on Discord and say, hey, and I like a lot of people, because I used to use email all the time, and I rarely do anymore. Verifying information and stuff like that, but that's about it. Correspondence is mainly, direct messages or, messaging on, Discord. That's about it.
Does anyone still do snail mail? The old-fashioned letters.
Actually, yes. even I still do. Let me check this just to make sure it's correct, because Curtis was not certain.
Because I was actually
And
surprised.
it is correct.
I was
So
kind of surprised by how many Christmas cards I got this year.
So anyone who wants to go over there, please feel free to click on the link that's in the chat box now, and go over to DJ Stream. Tell him I sent you. He always has fun over there, so please feel free to go. But anyhow, you were saying.
No, I was just saying I was really surprised by how many Christmas cards we got this year. So I actually took the time to write down all the people that sent me a Christmas card. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that this year. This next year for Christmas, I'm starting a Christmas card list and I am sending out Christmas cards. You know, old fashioned with a stamp, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Write them out by hand.
They're more personal that way.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you know, I used to like getting online cards. It was kind of cute, but it's like, okay, you spent about 30 seconds thinking about it. Here you go. Whereas when I go to the store, I pick out a card for a person, a specific person. So I'll look at 10 cards or more.
Yeah. My wife, we have a little joke between us. Every time I get a card, she looks at it and she goes, "How do you always get the perfect card?" I said, "You know what? I got a guy." Now I am the guy, but the fact is, you know, I look and I pick out the card and I spend some time and I think about it and I go, "This is perfect for that person for this circumstance."
Exactly.
You know, Hallmark is still really good about that, you know?
Absolutely.
And if they don't, I always find some way to write something in it, you know, that, you know, juices it up or whatever you want to say, you know. But, yep.
Well, I do need to go ahead and wrap this up. And I would like to thank you for joining me. You're welcome here anytime, Troy. And I know that LEG comes on. You're welcome here as well.
Yeah, I super appreciate it.
And your wife is as well.
Oh,
if
thank
she would
you
like
so
to come
much.
on.
Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. It was just I just jumped on and I was like, yeah, okay, sure. You want me? I'll jump on. Why not?
That's part of the whole reason we're a community, is that we can talk about things together. And you know, yes, there are going to be times where we're going to have some minor disagreements, but it's nice to just be able to talk, particularly in this time where we're in lockdown.
Yep.
We're not able to have the face-to-face communications. And we may be communicating with people we'd never have the opportunity to have contact with otherwise.
Yeah.
So why not take advantage of it and actually sit down and talk to people?
Good point. Good point.
And with that, I will thank you and let everyone know that's watching either now or later. Thank you for coming. Have a great night.
Take it easy.
Take care, everyone. Good night.